Okay, so let us talk about the functional requirements for the email management agent. So primarily, what main functionalities do we want this agent to fulfill? What are the main use cases? So from an email assistant, so for let's say like you are a senior executive in some firm and you have uh, a personal assistant. So what are your expectations from an assistant that manages your email? So first of all, what we would want is the email management agent should be able to read the unread emails from the different email IDs, right? And it should have the capability for that. For example, let's say you have an Outlook email and a Gmail, so it should support different email providers where it should be able to connect to different email providers and read the unread emails in batches. That is one. The second use case is that you get different types of emails. For example, some email might be work related, some might be related to a meeting, another email might be related uh, to a bill that you need to pay, some might be informational like a newsletter, some might be spam. So the agent should be able to classify each email that it is read into one of the several predefined categories that we discussed. And secondly, while it is classifying the email into a category, it should also be able to capture a concise summary of the email's content. So these are the two primary things that the agent should be able to do when it is reading an email. Now, when the agent has classified an email into a specific category, then what we want to do? So, depending on what the email type is, for example, let's say if an email is work related and it says that you need to perform certain work uh, before a certain deadline. So what we want is that the agent should be able to parse and extract data from the emails, the critical data. So it should have a semantic understanding of the email, what the content is, what the intent of the email is. The agent should be able to capture that and we should be able to extract key details from the email contents. And based on what it has extracted uh, from a specific email and based on the email category, the agent should be able to integrate with external tools or with different functionalities that may be made available by the same email provider or maybe by different external tools, and it should be able to perform different actions. For example, for a work related email, it should be able to create tasks in your to-do list, right? So it should be able, the agent should be able to integrate with some task management API. Maybe for Microsoft Outlook, it should be able to integrate with the Microsoft To Do API. For Gmail, it would be something different. And similarly, like for meetings, it should be able to integrate with the calendar API for different email providers, and it should be able to take action uh, based on what the email contains. So it should be able to let's say if the email is related to a meeting, it should be able to check the availability of a specific time slot for the different attendees, and it should be able to create new meeting invites. It should be able to send the meeting invites to the attendees. So these are the actions that the agent should be able to perform. Similarly, for task management, it should be able to create new tasks, new to-do list, setting the due dates, uh, attaching any important information when it is creating a task based on like whatever it is extracted from the email, right? Also, it should be able to perform actions like if an email is, let's say, it has categorized an email as spam, and it should be able to move that email to the junk folder, something that you do manually, right? And you mark an email as spam. For newsletters, it should be able to archive emails that are categorized as newsletters. So this is the third use case that the agent should be able to like satisfy. Finally, for critical actions like sending emails, creating calendar invites, or any such irreversible action that cannot be recalled, the agent should take approval from the user using the human in the loop mechanism. So before sending any email, it should take explicit user approval, or let's say before creating any calendar invite, it should take user approval, and you should be able to configure for what actions you want explicit human approval. Also, if any email doesn't contain sufficient information for the agent to take a specific action, then the agent should be able to ask the user for clarification. So the agent should have the ability to ask questions if it feels that it needs more information to perform a certain action. And finally, at the end of a batch run, so like, let's say like in a batch you have read 20 emails and the agent has processed all 20 of them, and the agent should present a consolidated summary of all the emails processed, what actions it has taken on each of the email, and what was the result of those actions. So it should be transparent to the user about its functioning. Finally, about non-functional requirements, these are a little bit technical, but we'll touch them briefly. So, credential management from a security point of view, the agent should manage all credentials in a secret manager. So it should not store the credentials locally, credentials that you use to connect to an email provider, and any such security related credentials should be stored in a secret manager. And another important non-functional requirement is regarding the UI. So the user interface that you provide for interacting with the agent, it should be pluggable. For example, you should be able to use a console UI, or you should be able to use, let's say, a Telegram UI, or you should be able to use a web UI. So the implementation of the agent should be such that the UI aspect is completely decoupled from the implementation, and the user should be able to configure what specific user interface it wants to use with the agent. So those are, friends, the primary, I would say, functional and non-functional requirements that this email management agent